remember the Liver King? A few years ago, he was one of the biggest fitness influencers to hit the scene, and now barely anyone talks about him. Google Trends results show he is now less relevant than ever before. So what happened to him? To understand this, we need to look at the beginning. Before he was the Liver King, Brian Johnson was just another ambitious entrepreneur. Born on April 7, 1977, on a military base in Puerto Rico, he was raised by a single mother in San Antonio, Texas, after his father passed away at a young age. He often described himself as a weak, bullied kid, someone who struggled to fit in. According to his own account, he was constantly picked on, called names, and looked down upon.
When you guys fucking understand, the first day of middle school for me was some fucking guy who looked like he was 35 with a mustache and everything. Hawks a loogie on his fucking hand, smacks me in the face, and I didn't know what the fuck, where I was. But what would happen at least once a week is I just got blindsided, I'd get knocked out, and I would wake up, and I'd have my book bag, the bell had already rung, nobody's in the hallway, and I gotta figure out, okay, what fucking period is it? And this is my entire fucking middle school. Not once did I stand up for myself. Not once did I fight back or push. And when the guys would come, I would just walk back, step back, and say, you don't want to fight me, I'm a pussy.
That all changed when he discovered lifting weights in middle school. The transformation became his obsession. By high school, he claimed he was bench pressing 315 pounds and had completely reinvented himself. But unlike many bodybuilders who pursued fitness as a career, Johnson took a different route. He attended Texas Tech University studying biochemistry, but never followed through with medical school. Instead, he entered the corporate world as a pharmaceutical sales representative. Ironically, he would later position himself as someone who hated modern medicine, despite the fact that he made his first fortune in the industry. The real turning point in his life, however, came when he met his wife, Barbara Johnson, later branded as Liver Queen. The two became successful entrepreneurs, investing in dental clinics and launching health supplement companies. By the time the Liver King persona was born, the couple was already multi-millionaires, making over $100 million a year from their supplement business. But selling pills behind the scenes wasn't enough. Johnson wanted to be the face of the movement, the living proof that his ancestral philosophy worked. In 2021, he debuted his now infamous persona, a shredded, loud, and aggressively primal man who claimed to live exactly as early humans did. The viral rise of Liver King. The internet had never seen anything quite like him. With his exaggerated chest, pulsating veins, and constant shirtless presence, Liver King looked like a cartoon version of a warrior chieftain. He ate raw testicles on camera, dragged heavy weights across his ranch, and performed barbaric-style workouts that made him look like a real-life caveman.
Take the bone marrow, and you scoop that pure marrow right out. The butter knife, look at this. Look, oh my God. Are you kidding me? Look at that. Look how juicy. And it just scoops right out because I didn't take it right out of the fridge.
People couldn't look away. His content blew up on TikTok and Instagram, amassing millions of views. His 9 ancestral tenets, which included things like eating raw organs, grounding, cold exposure, and rejecting modern technology, became gospel for his followers, whom he called primals. For Liver King, the message was simple. Modern life is making you weak. Processed foods, Wi-Fi signals, and soft living had turned people into fragile versions of their true selves. The only way to reclaim true masculinity was by embracing a more primal way of life. But despite his success, there was one thing people couldn't stop questioning: his physique. No matter how many times he claimed he was all natural, experts called bullshit. His muscles, the excessive vascularity, the bloated abs all pointed to one thing: steroids.
Living the ultimate ancestral lifestyle, and aside from eating raw meat and having a beard, there's nothing ancestral about this guy. He's training with high-tech equipment, training properly, progressive overload. I'm gonna spoil it right now. I don't think he's natural. Don't believe that.
The skepticism grew, and Liver King went into damage control mode. He denied everything. In podcasts, he swore that he had never taken steroids. In interviews, he mocked the idea. On social media, he brushed off accusations as self-limiting beliefs from people who simply weren't working hard enough. For a while, his strategy worked. He continued growing, appearing on major fitness podcasts, landing interviews with GQ and BuzzFeed, and even doing workouts in front of Buckingham Palace to spread his message worldwide. But then the emails leaked, the steroid scandal that changed everything. In November 2022, fitness YouTuber Derek from More Plates, More Dates released a bombshell expose. Liver King had been lying the entire time. The leaked emails contained detailed breakdowns of his steroid regimen, revealing that he was taking multiple synthetic hormones, insulin and testosterone, all while claiming his physique was a product of raw liver and discipline. The truth was worse than anyone expected. Liver King wasn't just dabbling in steroids, he was spending over $11,000 a month on performance-enhancing drugs. His entire brand, built on the idea that hard work and ancestral eating could give you his godlike body, was an outright scam.
Or maybe because he's running this company, people have to listen to him. So he's got this distorted perception of his ability to communicate and his ability to, convince people. That was so theatrical and so corny.
I don't know how, what kind of thought process went into the. There was some sort of ROI calculation on if I lie, what is the probability I get outed versus how viral can I go if I lie from the get-go versus, I just don't know how his team, especially with the information out there, thought that it was going to be a net win where it's probably never going to come out.
The backlash was immediate. Fans felt betrayed, fitness influencers roasted him, and mainstream media tore his credibility apart. The ancestral empire he had built was suddenly a joke. Realizing he had no way out, Liver King finally admitted everything. He posted a 6-minute apology video titled, "I Lied."
Primals, I'm making this video to apologize. Because I fucked up. Because I'm embarrassed and ashamed. Because I lied.
With a solemn expression but still shirtless, he confessed to taking steroids and misleading his audience. But instead of simply owning up to his deception, he shifted the blame, claiming that he lied to help men struggling with depression and self-esteem. His attempt to turn the scandal into a noble cause backfired spectacularly. Nobody bought it.
With an apology video, so we're gonna have to watch it, and I will review it as an epic apology maker myself.
Primals, I'm making this video.
Already 0 out of 10. What the fuck is this audio coming out of my ear? Can we fix that, Sahib?
Another victim of the scandal was Paul Saladino, previously known as Carnivore MD. Liver King and Paul Saladino weren't just aligned in ideology, they also had business ties. Before Liver King exploded in popularity, Saladino was already a well-known figure in the carnivore community, running his own health and supplement brand, Heart and Soil Supplements. The brand specialized in desiccated organ supplements, a product also sold by Liver King's Ancestral Supplements. While there was no formal business partnership, their products targeted the same audience, and they often promoted each other's work. Saladino had interviewed Liver King multiple times on his platforms, discussing the benefits of eating raw organs and emphasizing the nutritional superiority of a meat-based diet. After the scandal, it seemed that Saladino would distance himself from the pure carnivore movement, signified by the use of his real name for his personal brand over Carnivore MD.
The tragedy with Liver King for me is that the message was good.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people dismiss it because, number one, he's still a little bit too crazy for me these days with his content, and the steroid thing kind of fucked everything
so
up.
I was heartbroken when that steroid thing happened because I knew how powerful and important his messages were for the world, because I started eating raw liver, I started doing everything, and so the world needs these things, and now they're just going to get rid of it and not care about it.
Perhaps Liver King's actions created a bad taste in consumers' mouths, worse than the livers he was pushing. The aftermath, lawsuits, losing relevance, and a dying brand. Following his confession, Liver King's empire began to collapse. The $100 million supplement business took a hit, and he faced a $25 million class action lawsuit from customers who had bought into his fraudulent claims.
As a result of defendants' unlawful deceptive acts and practices, plaintiff Altamare and class members have suffered substantial damages. I'm curious to see what kind of damages they present to the courts because I haven't seen any yet. And if you eat raw meat and get sick, I kind of feel like that's on you. Just like if you watch a movie that glorifies the profits from committing fraud or robbing a bank, you can't do the same thing and then sue the movie production company and say, oh, I didn't know this was fraud. It wasn't explicitly stated in the movie. Liver King and his companies are being sued for $100 million, $25 million for each of the 4 claims.
Though the lawsuit was later dropped, the damage was already done. His credibility was destroyed, and his social media engagement plummeted. People stopped taking him seriously, and what was once a viral sensation became a meme. Desperate to stay relevant, he tried everything, buying ads on Twitter, making even more grotesque food videos, and doubling down on the shock factor. But nothing worked. At one stage, he even claimed that he had gone blind.
So if you could provide something from the doctor, scans or something, maybe we can believe you. And he posted this on his Instagram this morning.
Take a look at the eye. You didn't see anything wrong with this picture, Coach Greg? Take a look at this picture. Here's my retina from September 24th. Any ophthalmologist is going to tell you that retina is destroyed. That's the healthy eye. Here's the initial prognosis. That's right. They tried to tell me that I'm fucked.
Today it seems like his eye is fine, so perhaps the pirate angle was another publicity stunt. As the years have gone on, more people have been concerned about Liver King's mental health as his social media posts have continued to become more bizarre.
I do see that. It freaks me out, those people permanently changing their brain chemistry with like heavy ayahuasca exposure or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like, have you seen, I've seen multiple cases of this on social media as well as in real life. People have gone like retreats and then come back unrecognizable in their demeanor and how they behave, and not in a good way, like weirdos.
Yeah, oh yeah, I know a few.
Yeah, like have you seen Liver King recently?
No, what's going on?
He seems like, I don't know, like borderline schizophrenic now.
On his social media posts, Liver King claims to have found ayahuasca, which is a psychedelic drug used by ancient shamans. The drug, which is now popular among seekers, is sometimes known to create strange changes in personalities, often inducing psychosis. A rather tragic example of this happened to the fitness influencer Connor Murphy, who has become unrecognizable over the past couple of years.
I made it out! I made it out! I'm out of the psych ward! I'm out of the
The mystique is gone. Liver King has been exposed, and no amount of raw testicle eating can save him.